In this video, we'll show you step-by-step how to apply. The application process begins with clicking on the Fill out the application button on the mynonprofitrelief.org website. Gather your nonprofit's documentation for uploading before beginning the application. Note, there are different documents required if you are the organization applying for the grant or applying through a fiscal sponsor. Optional additional documentation illustrating financial hardship can also be provided. Ensure your uploaded documents are in PDF, JPEG, MS Word, or MS Excel format. Keep your SM Apply username and password nearby. You'll be able to save and come back to the application, but you may be asked to log in again. Remember, you can visit www.mynonprofitrelief.org for additional information and a list of frequently asked questions. So, grab a cup of coffee and a comfortable seat, and let's get started. When you open the application, you'll see a welcome that includes key information you'll want to review before getting started with your application. You'll see important details about the application process, including the May 5th due date and when and how grant payments will be made available. The welcome also outlines the application's scoring rubric so that you'll know which items are being scored and how heavily weighted items are. Be sure to note the Pages button at the top of the screen. Application guidelines are always visible there. There are 9 key tasks or steps in the application, and only one is optional. You may toggle between tasks, and you must click Mark as Complete for each required task before being allowed to click Submit. You must click Submit for your application to be considered ready for review. This section of the application is to ensure your awareness of the process and what is needed to qualify to potentially be awarded funds. Nonprofits need to be in compliance with state regulations, which includes registration with the Attorney General's Charitable Trusts section to solicit funding. Please note that some nonprofits are exempt from registration and will need to file for exemption. There is no fee to register, and you can upload a copy of your pending registration if you are not already registered with the state. Here are some key things that you'll need to input in this section. Indicate your use of a fiscal sponsor and include their contact information and EIN number in addition to yours. Know your Qualified Census Tract. The Qualified Census Tract, QCT, is a tool that readily identifies areas in need of support, and we want to know the tract you are in. Do you know ALICE? It stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, Employed. ALICE populations and those below the ALICE threshold are of major importance to our state and a priority for how the relief fund dollars are used. Therefore, we want to know if your organization is serving ALICE populations. Providing a percentage is mandatory, but the number is optional. Here you can summarize your organization's experiences during COVID and how it has impacted your work. The scoring rubric provides guidance as to the information being sought here. Some key things to know. The first table requests 990s for the years of 2019, 2020, and 2021. If you have those documents available, you only need to upload them, and then you may move on. For each year that you don't have documentation, you must complete the 2 following tables, indicating your total revenues that year that came from government grants, and the federal government department that issued the grant. The second page is where you get to provide your own narrative. We've heard from a number of nonprofits that while funding may have increased, there were other factors at play that still had negative effects on your organization. So, you can provide a bit of that detail here. Remember, each eligible application will be reviewed by a coalition of nonprofit and community leaders from your region. This is another reason why the regional and county information you provide is important. This section is here because we want to guard against the duplication of funding. This space is your opportunity to ensure you've disclosed government grants received and explain how unduplicated support would be provided. We want to reiterate that this information is not being scored. It's for disclosure purposes only. These 3 sections require mandatory documentation you'll need to attach or enter into the application. Proof of your nonprofit status. Be sure to note the accepted file formats to upload. Your employer identification number, or EIN. You'll need to enter your organization's EIN or that of your fiscal sponsor. Your current copy of the organization's IRS W-9 tax form or the copy of the fiscal sponsor's IRS W-9 tax form, which is used to establish the identity of an organization as being independent and free from the influence of any for-profit entity. This section includes a few questions regarding your employees, volunteers, and 1099 contractors. There are also several demographic questions that will help M&A learn more about your organization. Your responses also help M&A to measure how well it is upholding its commitment to realizing an equitable, diverse, and inclusive nonprofit sector. This part of the application is completely optional. This is for additional documentation illustrating financial hardship. We hope you found this video helpful and informative. Our goal is to make this process as easy as possible to get your nonprofit the monetary assistance you can really use after these difficult, challenging years. If you have additional questions or clarification is needed, please go to mynonprofitrelief.org. Click on Nonprofit Relief FAQs and/or Virtual Office Hours. Sign up for an office hour, which includes a broad overview of the application and the opportunity to go into breakout rooms to receive specific technical assistance as needed. We know how much you give to make your state a better place to live, and our goal is to help you keep doing that, now and in the future. Thank you for all you do.